Welcome to the session on inference. Inference is essentially a reading comprehension question where the candidate is required to make logical assumptions and connections by using the information in the passage to come up with a conclusion. As such, it is one of the common questions seen in various exams. Competitive exams like banking, RRB, SSC, higher education exams like CAT, MAT, ICET. It is also a common question seen in campus hiring exams. Inference questions are essentially reading comprehension questions. Here, one needs to make logical assumptions and connections to be able to arrive at conclusions that are new. Conclusions can be drawn based on given facts. It is an ability of a reader or a listener to be able to read between lines. Here, the inference that can be drawn depends on the listener or the reader. From any given information, there can be more than one inference that can be drawn. Deriving inferences in reading requires you to grasp the meaning of a passage without being given all the information. There will be certain clues given by the author in the passage. The information will be about plot, characters, settings, and time period. The readers will have to take these clues, understand these clues, and draw conclusions on the basis of the information given. Usually when you come across inferences, you will be able to understand when it is asked in the following format. Questions of the type will contain words like imply, suggest, infer in the question prompt. Another way you will find out is that most likely the passage is a part of. You will be given a short paragraph. The paragraph will have maybe about 3 to 4 lines in it. You will have to read the paragraph and arrive at the inference. For those kind of paragraphs, short paragraphs, questions can be like, most likely the passage is a part of. And when the question appears as such, you can think or analyze or that it is an inference question. Another question that would appear could be, the writer would probably agree or disagree with the statement. The piece most likely appeared in. Here in these kind of questions, there will be a short paragraph given to you and the question will ask you to think what would be the media or where would it be you see this paragraph most likely. It could be a dictionary, a Wikipedia, it could be a biography or autobiography or various things. Now it is not explicitly told where you see this. When you read the paragraph, the tone in which the author has written, few words that suggest if it is written about another person or the person is writing about himself. So this way you will be able to recognize if it is a biography or an autobiography. If it is an information that just a descriptive information about something given, then most likely it is something that would have appeared in a Wikipedia or an encyclopedia. Okay, but if it is a personal opinion about something, so most likely it is an article that would have appeared maybe in a newspaper or a magazine. Okay, so there will be no explicit explanation where it appeared. You need to read the paragraph, understand the writing style, and then decide where most likely this paragraph that you're reading appeared in. Another way that you can find out as an inference question is when the question reads, the author implies that the very best way to check crime would be. Right? So if there is a paragraph written on crime control, okay, and when there will be few suggestions made by the author about how to check crime, how to keep crime in control. Okay, so there will be certain sentences given following the paragraph. You need to able to interpret the information given in the paragraph with the sentences given to you as choices and select the one that most likely is the way the author suggests in the paragraph is the best way to check crime. Okay. Next would be a question like, which one would the author quote as an example of liberalization as described here? Okay, so this could be a paragraph where there is a talk about liberalization. Author has written their point of view in that, right? And here they would want to quote an example. So maybe the author has written something in the paragraph citing an example about liberalization. So you need to read the choices given to you and choose one which best supports, right, or which best will be a quote that the author is most likely to use in the paragraph, right? Now, in all these things, you will see that not any question is very direct, asking you to tell where is this place or what is the number or and so on. It is more implying, suggesting and inferring. You need to read the information, understand it, and then draw at a conclusion. To understand and conclude, there will be certain clues given by the author in the paragraph. We need to be able to decipher what those clues are. There are a few strategies involved in solving inference questions. One of the first strategy is to read the question carefully and understand what you're being asked. Right? So first thing, you need to understand the passage. Right? Your understanding of the passage is, say, something that you have arrived at. Okay. Now that conclusion that you have drawn, it may not be the question that is asked to you in the question paper. Okay. We need to understand the question too. Now, based on what kind of question is asked, you need to be able to represent your conclusion in the way that best fits the question asked. Reading the question, understanding it carefully is very important. The next strategy would be to ensure that you get the main idea of the whole paragraph. Okay, right. This is also one of the strategies we apply when we solve reading comprehension questions. The main idea. Okay. Now, while you're reading the paragraph, there will be certain thoughts running through your mind. Okay. So, when those thoughts are running through, what is the prime thought or what is it about that the author is talking in the paragraph? That forms the main idea. Whenever you're looking for main idea will be one that is extensively discussed. To sideline, to make it a little more challenging for people who take up such questions, the author would write about things that are related to the topic, but it is not the topic. Okay, we need to be able to segregate information about the topic and segregate the one that is actually talking about the topic, the main idea in the paragraph. The next would be to use the process of elimination. If you come across choices where the answer is incorrect, it is going outside of the scope of what the information is in the passage, you can eliminate it. Right? Now, as and when you eliminate, say if you have 4 sentences and when you read the choice, 4 choices given to you and you decide that 2 sentence choice is not at all related to the paragraph. Okay, when you eliminate 2, you are left with just 2. So your focus will be more concentrated on the 2. It will help you at arriving at your logical decision based on those 2 choices much more easier. Instead of focusing on 4, you will be focusing on just 2 of them. There are always trap words or catchphrases in choices given to us. Right? We call it as extreme language. Okay, usage of words like always, forever, never, all, totally, completely. Right? These are called extreme phrases. Few of them like this is the only choice or this is the limit of and so on. Okay, we call them as traps. They are most often incorrect. Okay, now please understand, I am not telling they are always incorrect. they are most often. Okay. Now, if there are often is, we can say an adverb of frequency. And when we use the word often, okay, so out of the 100 times, about 50 times or 60 times it is incorrect. Okay, so there are possibilities of it being right very few times, but most of the times, often it is incorrect. The next strategy would be to pay attention to answers, okay, only repeating the words from the passage. Right? Okay, they repeat the words, but they don't answer the question asked in the inference. Okay, so these answers look almost like correct. Yes, this is exactly what the question is asking for, but most likely they are incorrect. Okay, you need to read them carefully before deciding if it is right or wrong. They are just technical words that you saw in the passage. Okay, so whatever the words you have seen in the passage, they are just repeating in the choice. Okay, they are not actually giving you an answer. It's just a repetition of the paragraph. You need to follow these strategies in your inference questions to be able to understand the paragraph, take the information from the paragraph and draw conclusions on your own. In the videos to follow, you will be seeing few examples on how to arrive at answers for certain inference questions. There are few strategies here that you can avoid while working on inference questions. Okay, so an inference is never directly in the passage, right? So this is a tip that in addition to what we were talking about, right? So what you need to watch out for, an inference is never directly given in the passage. Whatever an inference is the conclusion you draw based on the information, clues or the facts that are stated in the paragraph. And it is never written in the paragraph. Okay, right? So it becomes important for us to understand the question type that is asked to avoid wrong answers. Next, we call something that calls a distortion. Okay, so distortion is where the information in the passage, okay, is distorted. Distorted is where, as I was telling you, there will be the topic given to you, right? The topic will be to make it a little more challenging for the readers. Okay, so the author would have written a few other things around or concerned about the topic. It is not the topic, it is things related to or something a little out of the topic given to us. Okay, this way the focus gets distorted. Okay, right? So it kind of twists the ideas of connections, and we sometimes tend to think something else is the main idea of the passage. Looking at unrelated answer. Okay, right? So when choices are given to us, okay, look out for ideas that are discussed in the passage, okay, that are not related to the paragraph. It seems to be. Okay, so in the previous strategy, we read that sometimes the paragraphs gets repeated as the answer choice, right? So we are able to connect to that answer choices because there are words that are repeating from paragraph in the choice. However, they are unrelated. They are not actually the answer for the question.